Hello. Might be a little too dark. Sorry. Gonna take my hair down and get in the shower here in a little bit. But anyway, I was looking at the local Memphis news, and there was a police woman that was about about a year and a half ago. It happened to 2 years ago. Where anyway, her children, she had like 4 or 5 kids, and 4 kids, and the courts, and I guess people donated money. Normally, if it wasn't a policewoman and people are trying to have some sympathy and empathize with these children, opposed to, they normally would have just been put in a foster care, because the father and I guess her mom was deemed unfit. I guess the father of 4 of the kids, so I guess she had 5 kids, because she was getting a divorce or something. Anyway, not the action of somebody that had their kids' well-being or in consideration in any way. And the courts, when it comes to the children, to me, don't stand a chance. They are victimized the worst, and it's the easiest. In a system where, a policeman will say, "Wow, everybody got hit. Who hasn't got hit?" And I'm like, no, it's appropriate here in the Christian area. In the South, yeah, Christians whoop their kids, and they chastise and they beat the kids. But some people are against causing pain, and are against violence, and against sort of that narcissistic, double-binding, hypocritical way of teaching, because it's the most devastating to the child. And just because everybody does it just means everybody's fucking crazy. Okay, so y'all normal and I'm crazy. I'd rather fucking be crazy than be a child beater, a double-binding hypocrite. But anyway, so they can't find any place. So they got it with their maternal grandfather. So I guess her grandfather would be the grandfather of all those kids, or her. And so anyways, but the court systems are not geared, really for the children. They come out the worst because of these foster care, where you hear these survival stories that come out later on, and either like interviews or tell-all story of how they was beaten, raped, or victimized, because of the way it is. These people are very happy for that $5 a day they get for that kid. Which, I guess if you buy a box of cereal, even though like that's $5, it lasts like what? For like if you got 4 or 5 people in there a day. But anyway, so the whole system is geared for like for very poor people, like the way that they're not, it's the type of people that it attracts to, or the type of people that think getting $5 or $10 a day for a child is they're coming up. Opposed to like, that amount makes you supposed to, what I'm saying? Because like, it's not a positive society here where you're whooping your kids. It's not a positive society here where the children have the lowest school grades, test the lowest in the country. And that's the number one reason. If the police don't see that they have a problem, you know what I'm saying? Now that it's confronted with one of their people, and I understand where lots of times they can't empathize in anybody else's plight, you know what I'm saying? But they're very selfish and very narcissistic enough that they think that you should theirs. And it's hard when you're walloping in the situation caused by their ignorance and inability to understand that they are jeopardizing the rights for all people. Because look at those 5 children. The mother's decision I'm not talking about her being a police woman. I'm talking about that she left a messy situation to where once she's gone, there's no proper, body to take care of for her. She didn't think about, what she was going to do for the future of these kids. And everybody, it has to, really stop being selfish and put away some of your childish wants and needs, and maybe think about the children's future. Maybe stop, bullying them and whooping them, and maybe start educating them and teaching them and providing a future for them tomorrow. That might be a future for you in your old age too, when you want to retire. Or it might be something for that there's money to put away, that they're able to bury you, or they're able to live a happy, prosperous life, unless you are the type of person that don't really care. And if you look around, that is ridiculous. It is ridiculous that, I know that sometimes the whole situation is ridiculous. That we're a society that we can't take care of our kids. And that's evidence. I think that should be pretty clear that they need to fix something. But every time you try to point out something that this really needs to be fixed for everybody, like in Ferguson, the police want to blame somebody. Well, she's gone. The judge already decided that the father was not fit for whatever reason. Who knows? But that's understandable, because if the women that are raised in such a objectivized way can only raise children that come second to any man or anybody else. So they grow up ain't shit. So I don't know, maybe we should make our kids think they're a little bit more. Maybe we should fix the education system. Maybe Memphis, if it stopped being the number one and failing our children in our education system, and maybe if we raise, up their IQ level, and maybe if we stop jeopardizing the women, the black community would be stronger. Because once you have women who are just something to twerk, dance in the titty bar, you know what I'm saying, and to you be like a whore, a die, or what's the other thing for the other woman? Whatever. Yeah, but all that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Why the man's behavior, be it whatever it is dismissed, and he doesn't have to be held responsible for his behavior. He doesn't have to be held responsible for maybe pursuing that woman. She's just a dumb bitch. So what does that make you if you're able to catch a dumb bitch? Or if that's all you could get? That makes you something dumber. Anyway, so if Memphis is failing the children miserably, the kids don't stand a chance. They're either the way the situation is, the way that they're thinking, and the type of secondhand information that they're giving to them is such an excellent way of controlling them with the ignorance and by that, using all this double-biting hypocritical Christian ways to keep them in line with the propaganda, you can see they have a very high drug use. And since it's everything is like hush hush, and they can't be honest with themselves, so it's almost hard, impossible to rehabilitate. They're very promiscuous, and then when the promiscuous with the drug users cause more pedophilia, and more pedophiles cause more homosexual and lesbian, because of the situation that it causes children. Either they devastated one way or the other. And then with the school system not teaching them enough so they could pass an SAT or be able to get into college academically, expelling them with all the tax money and all the with all the years that they have these kids. It's obvious that it's done intentionally, with or without the parents, being aware that they're participating in the propaganda, they're causing their kids to go to jail, to continue being in the sex industry, and continue to be selling in drugs. And as long as the parents, are not looking out for the future, as in i.e. that policewoman obviously did, because there's no place for her. She has a job where she carries a gun, where she busted in people's houses, where where you're doing situation stuff that you might incite or infuriate somebody to be violent with you, because you have this weapon on you, and you have this ignorant, double-minded, hypocritical way of labeling and judging people that comes from your self-hate that you want to project on them. That has absolutely nothing to do with that person, but that person might have their own fucking issues that are greater and stronger than yours. And I think she met that person that day, and it wasn't on her page, but it was on their page. But she did not consider her children future in either getting insurance, but there's plenty of, or making sure that they had a godparent in place. Obviously, she was too busy participating in having sex more than she was participating in being a parent. And that's what we need to fix right now in America, is that where the women are no longer jeopardized in such a way that they are uncomprehending their role as a female. Because if you just think you're something to compete against for other women, for men, then we're missing the mark greatly for our tomorrows. And our children are our tomorrows, and we just won't have any tomorrows. At least not for them. They simply won't be able to function.